The only historical text that mentions Atlantis by name is, of course, Plato's Timaeus and Critias. And if you've read them, you'll probably be just as frustrated as me with the fact that at the end of Critias, it just ends mid-sentence. Zeus, the god Zeus, is about to say something, and then it goes, and he said, done. It just ends. And loads of scholars have been like, oh, is it missing text? Is it missing manuscript? Maybe there was a whole second half. It's been lost to history. Maybe it was lost in the fire of Alexandria. Or maybe Plato was just lazy and it was an unfinished manuscript that was found, blah, blah, blah. I'm reading a book called The Atlantis Puzzle. It's like a deep dive into the linguistics, is that the right word? Like the grammatical structure and context of Plato's work, looking across all of his work and seeing if there are any hidden clues or hidden riddles or hidden puzzles within the Atlantis text. And there might be. And I think this book is convincing me that it is not a mistake what Plato did. He leaves it on a cliffhanger on purpose. So in order for this puzzle piece to make sense, I'm going to show you a quote from the Odyssey, because that is a classic Greek text that Plato students would have known. And there is an almost identical scene in the Odyssey that is also in Critias. And it's basically Zeus summons all of the Greek gods to an assembly, and they're talking about literally what to do with the badly behaved humans. The only difference is that in the Odyssey, Poseidon is missing, and Poseidon is obviously the originator king of Atlantis, the one who sets up the whole island, blah, 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 blah. So Poseidon's missing in the Odyssey, but not in the Critias version. Right, here's the quote. Zeus says, "Oh, alas, how mortals put the blame on the gods. They declare that from us stem their misfortunes, while it is often they themselves who with their bad deeds fall into grief beyond the written." Now let's flip to Plato's Critias. Nearly identical scene, and this is the last line from Plato, the unfinished last line. Zeus, realizing that the chosen race was behaving despicably, wishing to punish them, called to council all the gods, and having assembled them, said. Now, if you splice those two near identical scenes together, it reads like this. Zeus, realizing that the chosen race was behaving despicably, wishing to punish them, said, "Oh, alas, how the mortals put the blame on the gods. They declare blah, 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 blah." It literally reads perfectly. Like, the scenes are complete. So why would Plato do this? Why write a scene, leave it on a cliffhanger? And if you want to finish the scene, you have to go and reference other work and like splice the puzzle pieces together. Well, because that's actually what Plato did. His dialogues and his texts were brain puzzles. They weren't stories just told, from A to B, just to sit and listen to. They were layered, and they would have layer 1, which I guess was a story that you could listen to. And then layer 2, 3, 4 was full of thought exercises, getting people to think, but getting people to cross-reference. Why the Odyssey? The Odyssey is about a story of a guy who leaves one place, goes on a massive journey, and ends up right back at the beginning, like a circle. And that is also very much the themes that Plato's Atlantis texts are talking about. The themes that civilizations get destroyed in cataclysms, societies rise and fall, humanity always falls into the same patterns. It's like this circular thinking. So, very clever how Plato wrote the end of Critias as the beginning of the Odyssey, scene for scene matched, continued the dialogue. And it's almost like an exercise in lost knowledge. Like if we just he gives you a fragment of text, and then you yourself as the student have to then go back and reference the context, reference other work, find out where it fits in the bigger picture. I think it's very cool. Very cool. And I don't think it was a mistake. Plato is a literary nerd.